Oh my God, there
Oh
you
my
go.
God. I was
Okay.
panicking.
No, I'm like immediately turning off the comments. I guess like last week when I did it with Maddie, I like had her, I accepted her and then I turned them off with you because Liv had
Got
them like
it.
on her face the other day, so I was like annoyed with
I
that.
saw that. Yeah, but I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to request without seeing it like request to go
Yeah,
live.
you're right. You're so right. I'm definitely wrong on that one.
But here
But
we are.
welcome. You look so
Hi.
cute and pretty outside and comfortable.
Thanks. My brother is here. He was here yesterday for Mother's Day and he's taking meetings in our house and
Oh.
he is the loudest talker I've ever met. So I was like, I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, no, so good. Well, yeah, well, my boyfriend's in the room back here taking calls because he's on sales, but we just make it work, with what we got. So I appreciate you being here at 9
Trying our
a.m. your time.
best.
I
Yeah,
know.
duh. Got
So,
my coffee.
she's ready. I have my matcha and my water. They're just not in my hands. But I feel like we'll just kind of get going because these have taken a while with other people. I feel like we just like get
Yeah.
talking. Catherine and I, number one, have never met in real life, but we have like a connection, I feel like through Mackenzie, who was
Yes.
like my BFF in training, and
Yeah.
Catherine basically like mentored Mackenzie. And I just like love
Mackenzie
her and
was
I
my
think she's
girl.
the
We would
shit.
go to
So
the Cheesecake Factory post class all the time. She would ride my class and
uh,
we'd go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Aw, I love that. Okay, so for me, you're kind of blurry, I will just say. Okay, perfect. So, I'm gonna do a quick little intro, or you can do it. This is Catherine. Just like say where you're from and like how long you've been teaching and like your cool title and all that stuff.
Oh, my cool title. My name is Catherine, Northern California, and I am a senior instructor for SoulCycle. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, wait,
Good.
that just kind of lagged. I don't want this to be like bad quality. So now I'm like stressed, but I don't want you to go inside with your loud talking brother. Um,
Oopsie.
I'll just
Yeah.
like repeat what she said because I don't know if people hear what you're saying or if they hear what I'm saying. I don't know. But Catherine is an instructor in the Bay Area. She's a senior instructor and she's amazing. And I've only heard the best and greatest things about her classes. And her playlists always look incredible when she posts them. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. That's better. Okay,
Better?
awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna hop right into it if you're cool with that.
Yeah, down.
Number one, how did you find SoulCycle?
Before I was in to SoulCycle, I was a restaurant manager, and
Oh.
yeah, I was a senior restaurant manager for this like really intense company, and my boss at the time was obsessed with SoulCycle, and I was like, no, not into spin, not wanting to go, but he was so obsessed with it in San Francisco. So I, wanting to be like his best friend, went with him to a class, and the first class that I took, I liked, but I was also a little afraid of.
Uh-huh.
And then I just kept going back with him, and then I started going on my own, and it just kind of snowballed to where I was taking like 8 classes a week.
That's incredible. And what year was that? Do you remember?
That was let's see, I've been teaching for 4, and I rode for a year, so it was like 5 years ago, because I rode for a year before I became an instructor, like a year and
Okay,
a half.
got it. How many times did you
So
audition?
once.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And what group were you in?
22.
Oh, so
Group
you were in
22.
Maddie's group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
she
And
was like one of my
Chelsea
best friends
Foss.
during training. Chelsea
Chelsea
Foss,
Foss.
yes.
Okay, I got that. Okay, that was a solid crew. Okay, amazing. So you rode for a year, but like, at what point did you decide like I want to be a SoulCycle instructor? Like, did it just happen, or?
It did kind of, I knew that auditions were happening, and I rode with a lot of people in San Francisco, and they had all kind of mentioned that they thought I should do it. I would ride podium a lot for people, and they'd be like, when are you going to do this? And I
Aw.
distinctly remember one instructor saying, when you look back at your own tap back, it's time to become an instructor. And that he was
That's
talking to me
so
because I was like,
funny.
but I just wasn't happy in my old job anymore. When I was a restaurant manager, I had moved to a different restaurant with a different boss, and I just felt like that wasn't my path anymore. And I was looking for an out, and I loved SoulCycle so much, and I loved the impact that all the instructors had on me, and I wanted to pay that forward for other people. So
Mm-hmm.
then when auditions came around, I thought I'd try my hand at it, because from what I had heard, people were telling me that it took like multiple times to audition. So I wasn't necessarily anticipating leaving my job right then. I
Right.
kind of thought like, okay, I'll do this once, and then I'll like keep working, and then I'll do it again, and maybe like round 2 or 3 I'll get it.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I got it on the first try.
Yes.
And so I got it. They let us know, and then they were like, cool, you need to be in New York in 2 weeks. So I went to my boss and I told her. I was like sweating. I was so
Oh
uncomfortable. I
my
was like,
God.
can we talk? And I was freaking out. And she was so mad that I was leaving. I was a senior manager for them, and I gave her 2 weeks. And she was like, managers normally leave and give us months. And I was like, no, seriously, like my last day I will work, and then I will get on a flight to go to New York. 2 weeks.
Wow. That's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
crazy.
But hey, it
Quick
all
turnaround.
worked out the way it was supposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because clearly you're very good at what you do. But do you remember your audition songs? People always want to know this for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, my jog was California Love by Tupac.
Oh my God,
And
that's
then,
amazing.
which I truly have only played the original maybe like twice
Right.
in my classes. And then If I Lose Myself by Alesso and One Republic.
Okay, that was your season.
That was
Okay.
my seated, like more
Amazing.
soulful kind of song.
Yeah, moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
my seated was more soulful too. I feel like some people go for like the straight up like something you would do like a crazy jump in or like a very like go homey moment.
Oh my God.
Um,
My audition was so like I was so nervous. I just remember screaming the studio's name. I auditioned in Palo Alto, and I was like, "Yeah, Palo." It was so awkward. Um but I was so nervous. You like kind of black out when you're doing it.
you
So that's what
definitely
someone had
do.
told me to do, like one song that's more of a party song, and
Yeah.
then one song that is like a little more soulful, so that you can ground yourself in your
Yeah,
audition.
that's pretty much exactly what I did too. Started with
Yeah.
the party and ended with the like grounding
And with the
moment.
soul.
Yeah, I know the whole point, which is what we love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's like one of your favorite parts of class? Like it can be like a
Um,
soulful moment, it can be super vague or it can be like more specific. I don't know. Whatever your mind goes to.
I I love when everybody, it's not necessarily one part.
Right.
Um, but I love when everybody's energy starts to match. And
Mm-hmm.
like people just, it really seems like everybody's just in it together.
Yeah.
And so that can be like when everybody, like the choreography is just hitting, and everybody is like getting the Around the World perfectly, or like the last big, huge run that we do. Um, Actually, you know what? Change that it's like when people just truly feel the soulful moment.
Yeah.
The soulful moment just gets me when everybody, like if everybody just starts to like ride a little bigger and they do it together. That's where I'm like, whoa, everybody's feeling it. And that's
Right.
what
That's so
excites me.
special.
That's what gets
Hmm.
me. Yeah.
It's super special. I know it's funny because of all the interviews I've done, a lot of people, at least I feel like in the past week, all three of you have said the soulful moment, which is kind of funny. But before that, people definitely didn't say that, so that's interesting. But I love, we just must be like super in touch with ourselves. Um,
Or maybe that's just what we're really missing right now. And I'm like, that's what I
I know
need.
that's
That's what I
so,
want.
so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, what's one song you play in your class that you will never ever get sick of, that you would like literally put in every playlist if you could?
Without a doubt, Latch Lost Kings remix. It's like a
Oh,
4 minute song, and it's
that run is
one
so
giant
long.
drop. It's like a 2 minute run. And
It's
that
so long.
I love that. I
I
love
do.
it.
I
My
mean, it's
riders,
such
my
a good
riders
go
hate
home.
it, but I'm get ready to hear it.
And I love that though, because they know, because it's like because I'm sure you prep them. And you're like, here's the deal. We have one, and that's it. And then they're
Yeah.
like, and they get all ready, and then you're like, okay, we're a minute into
And then
this.
maybe you
Ow.
hop off and walk around and cheer them on. But yeah,
All of our secrets. Okay.
but I love that song.
Yo, it's so good. Yeah, so if you guys missed that, Latch, the Lost Kings remix by Disclosure. Yeah,
Banger. Yeah, yeah.
so good.
And Sam Smith.
Um, and Sam Smith, obviously. Okay, so do you have a favorite move on the bike? Is it the same as what's on the app, or is that not updated? Or do you have a favorite move that you like to just give the class that maybe is not like your favorite to do?
Um, wow. No, I'm truly, like I just said, where I'm like I'm missing everything. So now I'm like, how do you choose?
I
I
know.
love really aggressive around the worlds.
Okay,
I love big runs and doing moves in the run. So nothing like
okay.
it's it's doable. It's nothing that is going to like I'm gonna stop what I'm saying, but it's like just like sways and quick around the world and like doing tap backs. Everything that we do normally just like sped up for a minute or like the 30 seconds, whatever the run
Right.
is. I
Yeah.
like just like I love those and like kicking people's ass and then just being
Like
like,
hitting
cool, you did it. We're gonna
choreography
do
in
it
a run.
again.
I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like doing like a
yeah,
slow, like even a slow press or something in a run. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yes, that's
those feel
exactly.
really good sometimes. Like not sometimes, but like they
Sometimes, yeah.
well, like in my like that's just me, but we're all
Yeah.
different. But I feel like it's a very West Coast thing too. Because a lot of my friends who are in training, they'd be like in runs, like hitting all this stuff, and I'm just over here like, what's happening?
Do
But
you guys not do that in DC?
I will say not. Don't say like in DC because like whatever. But like
Do you not do that in your class?
I personally don't unless it's like a really specific song,
Yeah.
um, and I'm like really feeling it. I don't know. It just depends. But sometimes I'm just like running for days. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny, but no, I love that. That I think I would love your class, number one, because the way Mackenzie talked about it, and two, like your music taste just seems incredible. Because I feel like
Thanks.
you play like hip hop, but you also love like I hate to call it pop punk because it's such a like weird
I
way to
love pop
describe
punk.
it. But like that's I love that. Oh, so good.
I play everything.
Yeah.
Like truly. I will play like very poppy, then very EDM. I'm not great with current day hip hop, but I
Yeah.
do love old school. I love all throwbacks.
Mhm.
And I love classic rock.
Yeah.
And but I also really like tribal sounding music,
Oh my
like
God, same.
drums and horns and
I
like
like
stuff that would be really scary if you were to just
I
listen
like
to it for
super
easy
yeah, I
listening.
like tribally music, and I like grungy music is the way I usually
Yeah.
describe it to my class. Like I mean Apache is like the shit. And just any like I kind of like strings and stuff. I'm sure we've all played Broken Sorrow. Like
Oh,
that type
yes.
of
I
vibe.
love
I'm like, oh,
yes,
so good.
strings.
Okay, well
Like just instrumental,
yeah,
instrumental
instrumental.
notes.
It's good because it's like you focus so much more on like not yeah. And anyway, that perfectly segues into the next question though, because that my question is, what's one artist? I know this is so hard, or who is one artist or group or whatever that people will definitely hear in your class, like on a regular basis.
Um, I
You
don't
were,
know.
I know, I was like, you were
You
literally
will
just all over the
definitely
place.
in yeah, I'm so my playlists normally have a flow to it, so you'll get like you'll get like the pop and the EDM or like I'll try to mix rock and rap and
Hmm.
or just like
Yeah,
aggressive songs.
yeah,
But in every class you will hear some kind of throwback song.
yeah.
Like something from truly like 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Wow.
My friend just texted me to say Blink 182.
I mean,
True, true. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, do you play Blink a lot? Because they're incredible. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. No, I feel like when I was teaching like one of my first pop punk classes, like you're Instagram stories are definitely ones that I would screenshot regularly with your playlist
My
because they're so
playlist.
good. Yeah, just because like
Thank you.
I'm like what's that remix? And then I just like I remember your for like pop punk when I was like teaching one of my first ones, and I like went back and I was like, oh my God, this is it. I didn't fully copy it, but I will just say like your playlist looks fire. So what are 3 words? I know this is kind of hard that you would use to describe your class.
Whenever I get asked this, I always feel like I'm bragging, and it always feels
No, no, no,
like
no, no. Like some Liv said that the other day. She was like, "Is it bad to be like my class is fun?" I'm like, "That's not bragging. That's like facts. Just whatever you think."
that's facts. I would say loud. My class, because my music is loud and I am loud.
Yep.
I like to yell off the mic and sometimes even on the mic quite a bit. Um, but it's also aggressive, not even dependent on the music. Like it's just going to be aggressive. But I would also say fun.
Yeah.
Like I just
Okay.
want you to have a good time. So loud, aggressive, fun. And I would like to think that a lot of my riders are friends. So
Mm-hmm.
you would feel really connected. Whether you're
Yeah.
like riding right next to them or you're right like your friend is in the back row and you're in the front row. That's my goal, that everybody
Yeah.
feels connected with each other.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. This makes me want to take your class. I mean, I've already wanted to, but I just feel like I would like
I'm
it.
gonna take
I,
yours. You could teach me a
I
thing or two about the hip hop, you know?
everybody says that, and then I'm like, I hope you're not coming to my class solely for hip hop because like you're not always gonna get it. Like, whatever. It's so funny, but yeah, I don't know. I have like my go-tos. I feel like we all do, and then like you said,
Yeah.
like I'm not the best with like current, not like throwbacky, but I'm not the best with like the songs that are coming out because like every song that's released these days is literally 3 minutes long, and I'm just like I can't with that.
Three
It's
minutes
all
long
too short.
or sounds the same. Don't at me, but like I think they all sound. I think a lot
It's
of
hard.
songs these days sound like people aren't moving their mouths when they're talking. Like they just all kind of talk out of
Oh
like
yeah, for
it.
sure.
And I can't. I need
Travis
some
Scott
kind of
though.
enthusiasm.
I know. I totally agree. And I used to like hate remixes. I'd be like, I'm not gonna play remixes in my class, but I'm like, no, remixes hit for a reason. And like
Yeah.
when that beat drops, like you just need it sometimes, and it gives you an extra minute and a half in a song. Oy.
There are
Um,
songs that I'm so used to that are remixes that I forget that like do you have the
they're
Fleetwood Mac
originals.
Dreams Gigamesh?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, it's the best. I'll send it to you.
Yes, send that to
But
me.
there are songs that I like play them so often that I don't even realize they're not the
The
original.
original, I
Like they're
feel
just
that.
the original in my mind.
Yep.
And so it's then I'll hear the original and be like, oh. Welcome to the Jungle. I have a remix of Welcome to the Jungle that
Right.
I thought I was like, oh, it's basically the original. And then I listened to the original the other day and I was like, whoa, way
Yeah, I
off.
feel like I probably have the remix of that. It's so funny, but that is so true. I never really thought about it like that. That's funny. So this is like kind of random, not in the flow of what we're going with, but like your off day, what is something you like to do on your off day? Do you have something that you always do, or like what does your off day look like for you?
Um, Great question. My off day, I mean, my off day is Sunday typically with Soul Cycle and
That's a
even
good
the
off
stuff that I'm
day.
doing now. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I will rest if possible. I'll sleep in, but I also like to work out on my own that day because it's different leading a workout for everybody than doing your own workout. So
For
I like
sure.
to do that. Living in San Francisco, Sundays are awesome because you can just like go on a walk forever and just
Hmm.
you get to like there's farmers markets, great brunch spots you can walk into and bump into friends. We have really great parks you can go hang out at if the weather's nice or beaches. But I like to do that on my off days. I like to just really recharge and
Hmm.
try to connect with people. I also, my boyfriend lives in LA, so we've been doing long distance for a while.
Right.
And so I'll try to make it work with either he'll be up here or I will leave after my last class on Saturday and go to see
When's
him
your
in
last
LA.
class on Saturday?
My Survivor at 9:30.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah,
Dip
so I
out.
teach same here. I'm so like literally, I used to have the 9:30, 11:45, like very common, whatever. And then someone left and he taught the 8:30 and I was like,
Slide
And I
that
was like,
in.
can I just have that Saturday double and get the hell out of here? So now
Yeah.
my day is done at 10:30, which is so, so nice. And
Yeah.
that's so nice for you because you have like that whole day and then the rest of Sunday. And when's your first class Monday?
Right. My first class on Monday was 10:30 and then it switched to be 4:30. So I could
Oh, so you
leave.
almost have like 2 days off, which is
Yeah,
nice.
it was
And
it was a long time.
that gives you a lot more time to
Enough
visit with
time
each
to
other
hang,
too.
enough time to
That's so
travel. So it
good.
was good. Hmm.
That's really ideal. That's amazing. Where am I? Okay, so what's one thing your writers may not know about you?
Um, oh, this is the big
This
one. Some know
question.
this. Some know this. I hear color when I listen to music.
Okay,
So
I
that,
first of all had no idea where you were going with that. I was like,
yeah,
I hear.
I hear color. No,
Interesting.
it's
Okay.
called, God, I always say it wrong. Um,
Oh, this is a thing.
yeah, no, it's a thing. It's synesthesia is the thing, but it's like chromesthesia. I'm gonna look like an idiot.
No, you're not. I'll insert it
No,
here. Insert
it's
here.
yeah, no, but it's when I hear a song, my brain like puts it with a color. So that's how I organize all my music. I didn't realize this was a thing. I just thought like that's how my brain did it. And I tried explaining it to someone once. I was like, this playlist in my mind is like a blue green, so I need you to kind of be chill while you're writing this. It's a little different. And everybody just looked at me because I was like, I hear colors. And when I was saying it, I sounded insane. And then I see this girl, one of my friends now, but she posted on her Instagram. She is an artist. She paints, and she posted about how she hears colors. So she paints her like the portrait in black and white, and then she'll listen to music that evokes a certain kind of color in her mind, and that's what she'll paint the background. And I was like floored. I had no idea that this was a thing. I just thought I was weird because I never looked into it. I just thought that was how
Right,
I
right.
categorized my stuff for work.
Wait, I have a question. So in your iTunes, do you have things listed like red or
No,
blue? Okay, I was like,
no, but
wait,
like, so in my iTunes, I have it listed like as we all do with like
right, okay,
seated
okay.
flat, side to side, jog.
Yeah.
But no, in my mind, like
It makes sense though. It makes
rock is
total
like red
sense.
and black, and then there are some really aggressive rap songs that fit that same thing too. And then
Uh-huh.
there are remixes like in my mind, Rufus and Latch, the Lost Kings remix, and like some of that stuff is blue green. And then I
Okay.
would say like Rihanna, Griffin, Beyonce, and more like EDM-y pop stuff is purple, pink. So I don't know if
Okay.
it's like how
Do you
my
see
brain.
yellow? Like, is
Oh,
yellow a thing?
yeah, red. I do. Yeah, yellow is definitely Maggie Rogers is like yellow to me.
Oh my God, this is really interesting though. That's so
I
cool. I
had
mean, it
my
makes sense though.
playlist.
Like,
I had my
yeah.
playlist on Spotify organized that way just for my own mind,
Uh-huh.
and then I shared the playlist, and people were like, "What the hell?" So I changed the names of them. But now that I've
Honestly,
said this, I might be able to put it back up that way.
you may because honestly, like if I went into your class and you like were like, "Oh, I hear colors," I would be like, "Okay," and you were like, "This is blue green." I would feel like I immediately would be like, "Oh, I'm like feeling that." I feel like I get that. I don't know if it's
It
because
like
like we're
evokes
like
a color
musically.
and a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally feel that. That's so cool. Well,
I
that's
know. So
definitely
that's something
something
that
people didn't know
people,
about you.
but so I'll ask people or people that I tell, I'll ask them, now that you know that, what are the colors that you like?
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh my God, I'm
Which
gonna
is,
use that in class. That's so cool.
yeah, it's an interesting thing. And people will walk in and be like, oh my gosh, she's gonna do red black today. I'm like, uh-huh.
That's amazing. I think that's so cool. That's like really
Yeah.
cool. And that, yeah, for sure. You should do
But
like a
then some
whole
people will
theme
ask
of
me,
colored
they'll
playlist or
request a
something.
song And I'll be like, oh my God, no, I can't. That's a red. You're trying to fit into a purple. It doesn't work. So sometimes it works against me because the
Right, because
color of
your
the
head is
playlist has
like,
to flow in my mind. And
yeah,
if it doesn't, I'm like agitated.
that's crazy. I mean, but that also probably makes like such epic playlists when they all like have the same feel. That's so cool. I
I would
love
like to think
that.
so, but we'll
No,
see.
that's so cool. Well, along with you being different, people ask this a lot. What do you think it was, especially you got in your first time, and obviously timing is huge with that, but like, what do you think like sets you apart and like when everything is so competitive with Soul? Like, how do you think that you were somebody who was like chosen to be the one?
Do you mean in auditions or do you mean like once I'm
I would say so. The question that people ask is like, how do you get in? So I would say more so on the audition, not so much so like once you're in, like how do you get people, but more so like, what do you think? Why do you think they picked you? I know it's really hard because
um
like we don't know necessarily.
right. Well, when I went through training, I had a drill day where a drill day is like a day where you for those of you guys that don't know, it's like a day where you show the skills that you learned that week from all the lectures and classes that you took.
I'm like having PTSD slightly, but
Oh, I
continue.
was horrible at drill. I was awful, so bad. But we had a drill with Marvin. They looked at me during drills and they were like, "It's almost as if you've never taken a class before." I'm like, "I don't know how to coach. I don't know how to do this." But I figured it out. But Marvin told us that we all had some kind of superpower, and we just had to figure out what it was to harness it to get people to us. And he said to me that my superpower was, he was like, you can ask people to do the worst things, but then you'll smile and giggle and people will do it. Like making them run for 2 minutes. They're not going to
Uh-huh.
like sit down and not do it. But I think that he like kind of spoke to my ability to connect people. And I think that's what I did in my audition. Because an instructor in San Francisco gave me the advice that they're watching you from the second you get out of your car, you walk into the studio, you like walk in to sign in, then you walk in to where you're, or like to the actual studio where the bikes are, they're watching you. So she said, go in there like you're already an instructor, and everyone that's around you is a new rider. So you want to talk to them, you want to get to know them as quickly and best you can. So like know their name, know where they're from, know like kind of like, are you feeling nervous? I feel like it's a little bit better if we know each other and we're friends. So making that instant connection with people rather than like being nervous and keeping to yourself, but going in there almost as like you're trying to make a team and you're really trying to connect with people. I think that is what set me apart in my
Hmm.
auditions. I also just rambled. I I got the mic on me and I just didn't shut up. I was so nervous. I was like word vomiting my whole life story. But I think uh, I was relatable. They told me that I was, and when I was in training, they told us that we all fit like a certain, um, role that they were trying to have us fill. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hmm.
And I was the girl next door with a frisky side.
I
I was
wish
like,
I like
okay.
was told my role. I like
Oh,
wish I
whoever
knew
told us
like
that
what.
was not supposed to tell us that. They don't work at Soul Cycle anymore, but I know that they were, um, like, they were like, oh, you guys didn't know? Like,
It is
no.
so true though, because that's why people like shouldn't get discouraged if they don't get it. Like it took me 3 times, and it's like it's really what they're looking for at the moment.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like at the moment they were looking for a girl next door with a risky
With a
side for
frisky
you.
side, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
But also like it's funny you say that you ramble, and I mean, I'm sure you can remember people from your audition, I can, where people either got up there and didn't say anything or they got up there and they rambled, but there was something about you that was like relatable and it worked where like don't just like I will just say to people like don't just get up there and ramble because Catherine did, like if that doesn't feel
Yeah.
true to you. You know what
So,
I mean?
right. And I think that what it was, they can teach anybody how to teach, right? They can teach
Right.
you how to coach because they are going to need to teach you the Soul Cycle way of doing things. So, but they cannot teach you how to connect with people. So if you can get up there and you can connect and you can be relatable, because Soul Cycle is not looking for like a fitness instructor or a boot camp type of person. They're looking for someone that can connect with people and that will feel like they want you to feel like you can be friends with that person. Like you're working out with a friend, an older sister, like the hot guy that you want to date, or like, you know, they want you to feel like you know that person, like you can connect with that person. And so I think that's what I was able to accomplish with my, but totally with what you said, people have to audition multiple times because it's what they need at that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
and
is kind of tough, and it can discourage people. But I also think they want to know that that you're like committed to it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was a huge thing for me. I mean, this interview is not about me, but just saying between times 2 and 3, I think people were like, it wasn't like I was being tested, but I think there was definitely a sense of like, how bad does she want it type deal? Because at my round 2, I was a sole R, so they knew who I was, and I was like fully devastated. But they just say that they want somebody who has like a star quality. They always say that, like your superpower or whatever. And everybody, it's so interesting that like you look around your training group and I look around mine, and all of us are different, but we like fit. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Well, because they want that thing that like that sets you apart from everybody else. So it's interesting to me when everybody compares, like if they say, oh, your class is like if you were to mix these two people. Or I'm like, yeah, I kind of see that, but knowing that person, I know that we're really different. So, but they want something that like makes you stand out and makes you. And they don't want like a bunch of copies of, like, they're not going to want a bunch of copies of you or a bunch of copies of me. They're going to want people that have that it thing and that can stand out on their own.
Right. That's how you fill a class. Yeah, for sure.
How you fill a class.
But I also feel like that's like something people always are so curious about and they want to know. And there's obviously so many people who think and dream about being a Soul Cycle instructor. So I think that's really good advice. So yeah, and that was interesting to find out too. Along with what people want to know about us, where do you pull your inspo for like your motivational talks? Obviously, like maybe in your like blue-green moments, I don't know, or like stuff like that. Like where do you pull that from? Is there somewhere special, or is it just like in the moment, or do you have something you fall back on where people want to know how to motivate?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It's not like I have one spot specifically where I'm like, this is where I go to all the time. It's whatever works. It's like you see a great post, caption something on Instagram that kind of triggers something for you. I have a conversation with my parents about like what's going on in their lives, or what, like a friend's life even. And I kind of speak to that because, you know, they say like if one person says it, a bunch of people are thinking it. So like you never know who you're going to hit when you talk about something. Like even if you're just talking out loud and saying the things that you need to hear, like what you wished a friend would tell you. Sometimes I think that can lead to helpful motivation for others.
Like we do that a lot.
Yeah.
I would say I probably just like talking to myself.
Yes, all the time. Because I think that's what makes it genuine, you know. Like I think if you just spout off a Pinterest quote, then you're kind of like, heard that one before. Totally. I'm saying that, and I'm probably in my noon class. That's probably what's gonna happen. But no, but sometimes it's like books that I read. Like You Are a Badass is an awesome book. Or The Defining Decade: Why Your 20s Matter. I read that and I loved it. I just read Untamed, and that is a good one.
Ooh, who's that by? I need to read
Glennon Doyle.
I'm like getting a bunch of books together to read.
You got to read Untamed. It's really great. She says that women need to be not caged tigers, but we need to be cheetahs. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be a cheetah. It's awesome. The book is really, really good. Glennon Doyle is married to Abby Wambach, the soccer player.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's just it's amazing. If you haven't read it, go read it. But And then also I think I get my inspiration just from reading the rooms or
Hmm.
conversations that I have with writers before class, where like
Right.
sometimes people will walk in and be like, oh, I really need this today. XYZ is going on. And I don't know what to do. Or like my kid is doing this and I'm just at my wit's end or something like that. And I just talk. Sometimes I'm talking specifically to one person in the room,
Hmm.
like with a general thing.
Right. Right.
But reading the room, listening to your music too, like if you have a soulful or a heroic song that just like gets you,
Hmm.
I think that's good to use and you can speak to that. I don't know, that's like almost saying what came first, chicken or the egg? Like, did I pick the soulful because I'm feeling this way, or did the soulful tell me how to feel? I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's so true though. I mean, sometimes I'm the same way where I'm like, I know it sounds really cheesy, but I want you to listen to the words of this song because like they're gonna say it better than I do.
You
You know
picked
what I
the song
mean?
for a reason. They should,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Okay, love that. Kind of going along with like your community and just talking about people. Well, maybe this is your answer. What is it that inspires you most about Soul Cycle?
Ooh. Um, it's the people. Seeing how they, yeah, you're right. It's the people. But how like it's insane that riding a stationary bike can make you feel so confident.
Yeah.
And that is one of my favorite things to see, is to see how people walk in the room and then how they keep coming back and then how they've changed over time with like confidence just in themselves, confidence in their body. Or I love seeing people, because of what we do there, stand up for themselves a little bit more and ask for what they want and just commit to being stronger because they've taken on the challenge in the room and then be able to go do that outside of it. But that is what the people, the community that we have and the connections that they're making are what inspire me the most.
For sure. I think everybody, honestly, I'm like, should I take that question out? No, I like the way people describe it, but everyone says the same
Yeah.
thing with that one. But it's always described in a different way, which I really
Well,
like.
that's totally why we do it, right? You're not
Right,
doing it, you're doing it for the people that are coming to your
right.
room. Like
Which is
never,
why
I'm not,
this,
I,
go, go, go.
what? Oh, well, like riding a stationary bike is not my like, it's not my passion, you know?
Yeah.
But like the
Hmm.
people in the
Right,
room,
what
the
you, mhm.
relationships that we have and how they are like changing and bettering themselves because of it, that is what keeps me
For sure. And that's, I was just
motivated.
saying, that's why it's so hard. The situation we're in right now is so hard because none of us are being able to like fill that bucket or whatever you want to say because
Yeah,
like we're doing it like via social media in the best way that we can, but it's just like not
it's
the
not the
same when it's
same.
not in
Yeah.
person. It's so hard. So, ugh. So here's another
Too.
question. What's some like what's a misconception what's a misconception you think people have about Soul Cycle? Because there are a few out there. What do you think?
Um, there are a few out there. Uh,
What's like the first that comes to your
yeah, I'm
mind?
trying to think of a
It
good
can
one.
it can be basic.
Well, I would say that I am an extroverted introvert.
Okay.
Um, and I
I agree with you about myself as well.
like I love energy of other people and I have a lot of energy, but then when class is over, I power down and I like fully need to recharge by myself. I can't talk to anybody, I can't be around anybody. It's just like I say that I'm like a dead robot because I just go like into a little shell. Um, but I think that um sometimes people realize this, but I don't think everyone does that it is that it is our job, right? Like they come for a super fun thing and it's fun for everybody and I love that. But at the end of the day, it's our job. So we have to show up always and we always have to be on and we have to push through some of our hardest days and we still have to show up and be the bright spot for people. And I mean, it's a two-way street if you have that right community. And your writers will pull you through that dark day and that hard time. But it is hard to show up and be on your off days and when you're just like feeling really dark and low. And to go be on and be that bright spot and be extroverted and get through it with people. So I think sometimes people, it's not the first thing that comes to mind. You just think like, she's so happy all the time. Like nothing, like one time I did hear someone say, they were like, Catherine doesn't get it. She's never had anything bad happen to her in her life. I'm like, why would you say that? You don't know that. Just because I come to work and I'm like happy and on and like trying my best for everybody, you think that I've never had an off day. But so that made me realize, I'm like, oh, people don't see us that we have like those days, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna give us all credit right now because I feel like what you're saying is 100% true, and it's really interesting that one, it's like sometimes we're not given a pass when we're having a bad day. Like people who get it, they'll give us that pass, but I feel like there are some people, Maddie was saying this, they'll go to your class and it might be an off day for you, and people are like, oh, I hate her, or oh, like I can't stand her class, and she's like, no, like stop, like go back like 3 to 5 times and then let me know. But it's like, but it's interesting because it's like, yeah, when you're sitting at like a desk job or you're whatever, like you can go through the motions, and there are instructors who can go through the motions, but like that doesn't work for most of us because that's just not how we operate. So we go in, we put on that face for 45 minutes. And I think the misconception is totally what you're saying, where it's like, we're required to be on all the time. And like, we work a lot harder sometimes than most people to be on all the time. I don't know if I'm like with you on that one, but I feel like that's what you're saying. And it's like, people don't understand that we're human too. And just because we're in here and we're happy doesn't mean that we don't have like shit going on in our lives. I don't know. I guess that's kind of what you're saying. I'm like,
no, it totally is. And like, the power of a kind word and like can go a long way. So like, don't be afraid. Cause I know that there are some people that are like, I was afraid to talk to you. Like, no, talk to me, be my friend.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's, and I think that it also shows how good you are at your job to be able to still show up on those really dark or really hard days and perform. I hate using the word perform because that's like, ugh, but, and still like give people what they need and be so selfless, you know?
And I think when you make a community, that's your own, and I think you can totally be open with them and tell them like, this stuff is going on with me. I'm having a really hard time. So please be there for me today. And people will show up. And that is, that's the most gratifying feeling when you're like, whoa, these people are really here for me. And that's, it's like, it kind of like lights me up when I feel that.
I think when I was newer, I was more afraid to tell people like when I was having a bad day or when whatever. And now I literally, and I will just show up and be like, my day sucked, and like, by the way, the playlist reflects it. Good luck, let's go. Or like if I'm crying or something, like, and then people like when my dog passed away, I taught the very next day, and I couldn't even do the run home. I was just sobbing in the room, and people like, there's something about being so real and open that like people actually like want to help.
Yes, I think so too.
So yeah, I feel like that's like the special part of Soul, where if you're like crying at your desk, people are gonna be like, what's wrong with you?
Can you please go home? You're making the office uncomfortable.
Totally. Okay, well, we just covered that misconception from like point A to Z.
Yeah.
Love that. So this is interesting. I'm just curious what your answer would be. If you like weren't a soul cycle instructor, what is it you think you'd be doing? There were a few extra that you didn't know, by the way.
Yeah, I know. No. I mean, dream job. I would love to be a travel blogger. I would love to like honestly, just be able to travel and go anywhere. I've just this year, at the beginning of this year, I was like, I really want to travel. I have that itch. I have that urge. I want to go abroad, and I want to go. Clearly that is not happening.
I know.
But no, I would love to do that. But I think whatever my job would be, Because I mean, like I said, well, fitness is not, I love working out and I love creating that escape for people, but fitness is not it was not the job that I anticipated for
Right,
myself. I
right.
didn't like go to school for that. I didn't
Hmm.
prepare my life to be this way. It just kind of
Right.
happened, and I love it. So I don't imagine myself changing from it anytime soon. But whatever I would do, I would want it to have some kind of positive effect on people. When I was growing up, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. You were, right? Yeah. And then I was like, wait, I don't like school that much. I could not commit to going to school every single day for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then for a little bit in college, I was a wedding and event intern. And then I've helped
Okay.
one of my really good friends. She is a wedding planner, and I've helped her a lot recently. Or like in the past year, I helped on a couple things. And together, she and I started, we're trying to start this thing for dinner parties.
I
And we
saw, yeah,
had
yeah,
we
yeah.
had one before this all started where we invited a group of women and then asked those women to each bring a friend that inspired them in some kind of way. Um, and we brought all those women to the table, and it was like people from all these different groups who didn't know anyone, and we asked if they would bring someone outside of the Soul Cycle circle just to
Hmm.
get some kind of
Right.
connection and some kind of community bigger than that, and you for people to get out of their own social circles, maybe out of a rut, and realize that there's other people out there. And so I would
Hmm.
want to continue to do something like that where it
That's really
people
cool.
continue to connect with each other, continue to have like a community that they can fall back on, and
Hmm.
something that just brings joy. That's what I
Yeah.
would want to do. I don't, to be
Yeah.
completely honest with you, I have not thought um, beyond Soul Cycle. I've
Soul
thought about
Cycle.
how
I
to
know.
enhance what I
Yeah.
do, but I have not thought
Well, for everybody watching who
beyond.
rides with her, that's a great sign.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
like she's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Love that. No, I think some people like just like I'm like very much the same where I'm like I'm so like soul cycle focused that I don't can't even think about like what's next. I
What
can
would
think
you
about
do? You know
little
what you would do?
projects. No, not at all. I'm like with
Yeah.
my dying Instagram, who knows where I'd be going. I'm like, ah, because that would be just putting it all out there.
Hey
But I don't know.
everyone.
It is funny because Maddie and I talked about how like with Soul now it probably changes what we would do next because if we like never had our Soul Cycle chapter because obviously like I hope to God I still want to be teaching but who knows.
If I
Oy,
didn't have Soul Cycle, I would still be a
serving
restaurant
people. Oh
manager.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I would still, I mean, it was an awesome company.
Right.
But it was just, I didn't have a life while I was doing it.
Yeah. And you just weren't happy.
They paid to keep you
Yeah.
locked in. And I felt like I was good at my job, but I wasn't, fulfilled. And I think
Yeah, it's
that's
really hard to
so
walk away from
important
that.
with whatever you're doing is to feel fulfilled by it. Because I say all the time that it's crazy that I get to do Soul Cycle for my job, because it is so fun and I do love it
Hmm.
so much. And like the
Yeah.
rewards you get from it, the people that you meet from it, it's like it's life changing, truly. So I
Hmm.
don't know what I would do
Right. And I
without it
feel
or
like
beyond
that's
it.
why it's really interesting. I was having this conversation with my friend the other day about how Soul Cycle obviously is our job, but it also is something that we loved before it was our job.
Right.
And there's something, even though we are showing up and we are on and we are doing all these different things for our job, it still is a release and helps us. And I feel like that's why so many of us right now are like, oh my God, get me
What do
back
we
into
do?
Soul
Yeah.
Cycle because
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I miss serving you and helping you and like the community, but I'm like, I also myself like need to be in that room sometimes. Like
Yeah,
it's
totally.
crazy. Okay, we have like three more. So we're trucking along, kind of
Here we
not really.
go.
So new riders, I'm sure you get a ton of new riders. And what's your one piece of advice that you could tell a new rider if they were listening to this right now before they come into the room?
Be okay being bad.
Yeah.
Like I think the fear of failing and not being good at something, or looking silly, it stops people from doing a lot. I know that it stops me from doing things. If I know that I'm going to look like an idiot doing it, I'm afraid to try it. But be okay being bad, because in all honesty, we were all really bad when we started. I like to tell people that it looks like they're Bambi on ice. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like they don't know how to walk in their shoes. They don't know how to do anything. But be okay being bad and just have fun with trying something new. Because if you go in with the expectation that you're going to have, like, it's going to be loud, you're going to have fun, there's going to be a bunch of people and they're doing the same thing, then go in with the expectation that it's going to be a party. And like, you never know what's going to happen in a party, but it's probably going to be fun. So just do that, but also be okay with making a mistake, be okay with learning something new, be okay with being bad, be okay with trying and putting yourself out there.
Sorry, my nail just it's all chipped. My weak nails from not getting them done. But anyway,
same with you.
But I'm trying to get them stronger again. Well, that's great advice, because I think that's so important. So how do you stay, so we have two more. How do you stay motivated in this job? Because it is very much an on job, as we talked about, and it's super physical and super mental at the same time. So how do you continue to just keep going 4 years later,
I am 100% just motivated by my community and the riders that I have. Like if they stop showing up, then that's it. If they stop coming to class, then that's when I would know that my time has expired.
Right. Totally.
But it is definitely the people and the community that I've met from it. I know Madison says all the time, there's no me without you, or there's no me without us, me without you.
I think she says me without you.
Me without you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that to be so true. I am constantly inspired and motivated by their improvement on a bike, how they're making huge strides in their own life, and just the people that we are becoming together and the team that we make. Because it truly does feel like a team. Like my Throwback Thursday class that I have, it is a team. Yeah, but that's what definitely keeps me motivated and coming back. It's the people.
For sure. The people, for sure. So if you could pick one thing, if someone takes Catherine's class and they leave, what is the one thing you want them to take with them? Is it a feeling? Is it what is it that you just want people to leave your class with?
I always want people to leave feeling better than when they walked in. Yeah. And I think that's probably how everybody wants them to feel, but I want them to feel I want them to feel accomplished. Whatever they needed out of the class, I hope they got. If they needed it to be a fun dance party, if they needed to aggressively push through something, if they needed to feel like they weren't alone, so they were surrounded by the team. And I just want people to feel accomplished with whatever their goal was coming in. I want them to feel like they did that, accomplished and proud of themselves.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one, and then I'm going to turn on the comments so people can ask you some questions, and then we'll get out of here. So who are two people who've been influential on your SoulCycle journey? So this can be somebody in the SoulCycle world, or it can be somebody in your personal life. Just when you think about your SoulCycle journey and your path and how you became an instructor, who are two people who've just...
Oh my God, I can't answer that. I have, because there's so many people along the way, where it was the instructors that told me to go for it in the beginning, and then their advice that they gave me before, then getting into training and my training group that helped push me through when I thought that I was failing and not actually going to make it through training. They definitely pushed me through and made me feel like I could. Then the studio managers, when I got out of training, well, obviously the training coaches, Karen, but then getting out of training and the studio managers telling me no, it's okay, you're going to have two people in your class and you're going to keep those two people, and then those two people are going to bring two more people, and you're just going to keep growing. So the support that I got from them and the front desk staff, like hyping me up, writing my classes, to then the community of writers that you create, and then bringing
Mhm.
more friends in. I don't know just two people that I've been.
I wasn't sure.
Um,
Like some people have like
yeah,
a specific person and some people
totally, totally,
are
totally.
more, yeah, no, I love that though.
Um,
That's very good. Those are
yeah,
groups
it's
of
like
people who've all helped you.
everyone along
Yeah.
the way.
Right. Every
Um,
yeah, for sure.
but honestly, too, I mean, even the people that to my face told me that they didn't like my class. Those are
Yeah,
those
they
are some
motivate
sweet
you
people.
for
Totally.
sure.
Let the haters feel you, you know? Okay.
Yeah. Well, clearly you're doing fine. So, like, okay. No. Well, I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna have you finish this sentence, but I'm gonna turn the comments on, everybody. So if you have questions for Catherine, have at it, go for it, and then we'll have it. But this, I just want you to finish this sentence. It's so corny. I don't know why. I need to figure out like a better ending. So just finish the sentence. To me, Soul Cycle is
Everything.
perfect. I love that.
That's
Okay.
exactly what just popped into my mind. So it's like it's where I felt like I finally became who myself, like the
Right.
truest version of myself. It's where I learned to be confident and like powerful, truly. Where I've met some of my best friends, where I've met people who have inspired me to do more than what I thought I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it is like such a pivot point in my life when I found Soul Cycle and
Mm-hmm.
then to where I am. So
Right. Love that.
everything.
So to go to everything. I don't know if I
What have
don't know.
other people said to that?
Some people say like I think Maddie said bliss. I think um some people say home. I don't
Anthony.
know, family. People just
Home,
say different
family,
stuff.
totally.
Um,
Yeah.
Catherine, you're the goat. Anthony the Stallion says.
Yeah, I love thanks,
Aww.
Anthony.
Oh, a girl I know named Catherine says you have a fucking amazing name. Love that. He
Eee.
says come to LA. You've taught in
I
LA,
did.
right?
I've taught in
Yeah.
my boyfriend lives there, so I've taught in LA um a
How
few
does it
times and it's
compare?
been awesome. Um
Can
can't
I
follow
follow
me
you
on
on?
Spotify. Oh yeah, duh.
So
It's
go
in my
yeah, if you don't follow Catherine, number one, you need to right now after this interview go to her page. Wait, how do you say your
Llevano. It's
last name? Levano.
Llevano with the L's, but when I was in college and I made my Instagram name, everybody called me Llevano because a double L should be pronounced. I guess that is something that my writers don't know. That my Instagram handle is not how you spell my last name, but
Well,
it's how
I
it should be
literally
pronounced, but we say it with the L's.
wait,
Yeah,
what? So it should be
yeah.
pronounced Yavano, but you
It
say
should
it
be, yeah, but
Lavano.
we say it Llevano because a double L creates a Y sound. So it
Okay,
should be
okay, because I've
Yavano.
been saying your name is Catherine Yavano based on your
That's
Instagram
okay.
handle. That's so
That's
funny. Okay,
I
well,
know. I
anyways,
really mess with
go
people that way. Surprise.
go to her Instagram, follow her, and I assume that all of look, this person's like mind blown. Go, and I assume your Spotify is probably linked in something, right?
My Spotify is the link in my bio.
Okay, perfect. And
So
then now
go
you guys
there.
know when you listen, you're gonna start hearing red and black, and you're gonna hear blue and green.
Yeah, you
And
will. Maybe I'll post the colors of the playlist now and I'll let you
honestly,
know.
when I like listen to EDM now, I'm just gonna start seeing purple and pink, which is so funny.
It's
I'm trying to
I'll
think of
give you some examples of it, but yeah. And then but like any kind of horn and big band sound is yellow red to me.
okay,
I don't know.
but Maggie
Yeah,
Rogers is yellow too.
sure is. I'll give you a playlist of it all.
Yeah, I'm a little
Post
confused.
I'll post them. I know. I know.
The horns mixed with Maggie Rogers confuse me now, but everything else, yeah.
You'll
I
get
mean,
it.
I would
You'll
love to come to a
it's
red
like
and
big
black class.
or good times roll.
Oh, by what?
Grizz and Big Gigantic, good times roll.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like Maggie Rogers.
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
even
if
know
you don't
that
know that one,
person.
you'll love it.
Okay,
But um that I'll send you a playlist.
okay,
I'll send
okay.
you a
I'm so
yellow one.
curious. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, it looks like people are just saying hello to you, so we'll just do that because we did cover a ton of questions.
Yeah,
So thank
true.
you so much for being on here. So here's the deal with what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to go download it. I'm going to save it, and I'm hoping like Wednesday, maybe Thursday, if I'm being honest. I have it on YouTube, so it's like fully
Amazing.
saved forever to the internet, and then like the people can
Ah,
come watch it if they didn't see it live. Because unfortunately, if you're not on the live right now and you're sharing with somebody, I can't share it to my story, which is so stupid for 24
really?
hours. Yeah, it sucks. Or
Huh.
or maybe I can. I just think I
Because
can't save it.
I watch yours in Lives back.
Oh, okay, then yes, I can. Honestly,
I
Instagram
wonder.
changes every day with what they want. Okay, wait, answer this and then we'll sign off. First song you'll put in your playlist.
First
What do you
song I'll
got?
put on the playlist for my class back.
That's really hard. And it depends on the day for me.
I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, do I go with new music? Do I
All the
hit
new
you with
music
the
sucks.
classics? No, like new, like not song, like just new for me.
I was gonna say like a TikTok song. I don't know.
Oh no, I can't do TikTok. They're like that dancing is not my thing.
It's really hard and
But
exhausting.
yeah, it looks like it.
If
So
you had to
I
pick
can't do
one,
that.
what would it be? Wait,
If I had to pick
that's
one,
your
honest,
boyfriend, right?
the boys are back. Like Thin Lizzy, yeah, boys are back in town. Um, if I had to pick one, I might. God, I don't know. Like, would I want like pour some sugar on me and welcome to the jungle? Would I want bad karma and Messiah? Would I want
Oh.
um Latch Lost Kings? Would I just make a
Ooh.
muddy playlist of my own colors and just toss in every most requested song ever? I think what I would do is take requests prior
Okay. Be like,
to
what do you want to
going
hear
back
your
in. Be
first
like, what do
class
you
back?
need to hear? Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Dog days
You're
are over. Yes, that would be so fitting, Emily. So
It's so
true.
good.
Maybe
That is
that's it.
such a
Yeah,
good
my
song.
girl Florence. That's probably an artist that you'd hear a
Yeah.
lot in my
I feel
classes.
like Florence is somebody you hear in a lot of people's classes, even if it's like,
Yeah.
you listen to Florence, I'm like, she's made for Soul Cycle.
You don't?
Um,
You should.
yeah, no, I think she's amazing. Okay, well, so here's the deal. Go follow Catherine, keep up with all of her stuff. She's incredible. She's amazing. She's out in the Bay, so if you're gonna go to the Bay at some point in
Come
your
see
future,
me.
go take her class for sure. I will definitely be doing that when I get out there, whenever
Yeah.
that may be. And yeah, and then this will be up on YouTube so you guys can rewatch if you missed part of it or if you just want to rewatch it and see her face or whatever. So yeah, thank you so much for being
Thanks so
on
much for
here.
having me.
Yes, you're
This is
amazing.
so
And then
fun.
also, she's doing workouts every day but Sunday
Every day but Sunday. Yeah.
at 12 p.m.
12 my time, so that's
I'm
3
like,
your time.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. West Coast
12
time.
p.m.
So
Pacific Daylight Time, so
Pacific,
West
yes.
Coast time. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, she does those over on Zoom. But thank you
Uh-huh.
guys so much for coming in. Catherine, you're the shit, and I
Thanks for
appreciate you
having
being
me.
here. Mwah. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.